Good morning and welcome to Information Literacy online class for fall 2019. I am Stephanie Owens. I will be your instructor in this class, and I am just going to take this video today to introduce myself, to explain about how we're going to use the video updates in this course, a little bit about how this course works and what you can expect in it, and then at the end we'll talk about some specific notes that you'll need to know about this course specifically and how this course integrates into your degree program, as well as accommodation notes for IEP needs or any sort of learning difficulty or anything like that. So that is what we're going to do on today's video. I just wanted to give you an overview before I move on to the next section. So right now I'd like to take just a few minutes to introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Owens. I previously, up to a year ago, was Stephanie Hoffpower. My husband and I have been married for about a year. You may know me as Stephanie Hoffpower because I've worked in the library for about 6 years, but only under the name Stephanie Owens for about a year. I have been the director of the library for coming up on actually just a little over 2 years, which is incredible for me to believe, but I'm the director of library services here. So in this course, we will not only be discussing how to find the best information in an online environment, but I'll be giving you some introductions to our campus library environment and our campus online library environment as well. Like I said, my husband and I have been married for about a year. I've had the opportunity to live in Cincinnati for 9 years right now. I came here as a student to finish a degree in 2010. And so I have been living in Cincinnati since 2010, working full-time at GBS since May of 2011. Some of my personal interests include, I love classical music, so I enjoy attending the symphony when I get the opportunity here. Cincinnati has some great parks and museums, so my husband and I enjoy taking advantage of those when we get the chance. We also both love coffee, and my husband happens to be a training manager at one of the local coffee shops, and so that is obviously one of our favorite things to do is try new coffee shops in the area. We also love trying some of the amazing food that is available in Cincinnati. Our current favorites are Indian or Thai, so if you're in the area or ever visit the area and want to know my favorite food recommendations in the area, feel free to hit me up. So now I just want to take a few minutes to talk to you about how I plan to use video updates in this course and kind of what I plan to hold myself accountable to regarding those, and then also what I'm expecting of you in regard to these video updates. So as you know, this is what we call an asynchronous online class. Asynchronous means there is no particular meeting time for the class, like you don't have to show up to the class at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is part of the beauty of an online class. But for class participation, for kind of that personal connection, communication touch, and for important class updates, assignment introductions, things like that, we will be using video updates, at least most of the time. I am giving myself the opportunity, if I'm sick or losing my voice or something like that, or I just feel like you're plain sick of seeing my face, there will be written updates on occasion. But my goal is to have a video update for most of the modules in this course. I think we're at, I can't remember right now, I've done some updating, 7 or 8 modules, so my goal will be to have roughly that amount of video updates. like I said, from my side of this, my expectations for me are to create a time of kind of personal connection where you feel like you actually have a face-to-face instructor, a class time where I can cover important points that maybe I feel like weren't covered well in the class materials, or where I can see maybe you didn't understand the class materials, and a time to recap and then look to the future. My expectations for you regarding these videos would be that you do watch or listen. I don't care if you look at my face the whole time, but that you watch or listen to each video. There will be a participation report required each time that there is a video. So you will report whether you watched, listened to the video or not. That is going to be part of your participation grade for this class. Also, I just want to point out there will likely be important information or recaps that take place during these videos, so you won't want to miss them. All that being said, if you have a concern about your ability to watch the videos, perhaps you have an IEP, maybe there's a hearing impairment that makes watching and listening to the videos difficult, please let me know as soon as possible. I would be very happy to make accommodations for you if there's some sort of, like I said, an IEP or a hearing impairment, a visual impairment, something that keeps you from making meaningful use of these videos. Please let me know. I would be happy to provide a written form or something like that. But I need to know as soon as possible so I can start considering how to make those transcripts available to you. I'm not going to post my contact information here or spell it all out for you. It is posted on the landing page of this course. So rather than giving you extra information here, I would just refer you to the landing page of the course. There's my email, my office phone number. Please contact me if you have concerns about that. Some of the next things I want to cover are regarding just how you can expect the format of this course to work. Much of this stuff will be spelled out, written clearly in the syllabus, and also built into the course assignments, the course due dates. However, I just wanted to take a minute to explain exactly how it works. If you have taken this course before, perhaps had to drop it or something like that, there have been changes, so pay attention to that. Also, I know that the way each instructor does a course online, or else, honestly, whether online or on campus, there are different rules as far as how late you can turn in late work and stuff like that. So I just want to talk about that briefly. This course is split into 8 modules that will take place over the course of the semester. Most of those modules, if you look at the way the course is set up, most of those modules will be about 2 weeks in length. Usually, they open on Monday. Excuse me. Usually they open on a Monday and then close the Saturday 2 weeks later. So it's not quite 14 days, maybe 12 days I think would be the actual how long it takes. So a module is going to open usually a week before the module starts. I understand that some people want to work ahead, so usually those modules will open a week before the module officially starts. Each module has dates written into the title of the module, so you can see what weeks we're actually working on that course, that module. Usually I'm going to be able to open those a week in advance. The video for the week will not be posted at, when it opens early. The video for the week will be posted a couple of days before the module starts. This is intentional so that I can cover any pertinent information relating to assignments that were due. But as far as starting the readings and things like that, I'll try to open the modules early so that you can start doing the readings and actually the course material videos. Once the due date hits, and sometimes, watch out, there will be more than one due date within a module. Sometimes there will just be one due date and you'll have 1 or 2 things due on the due date. Other times there will be few assignments spread out over the module, so make sure you're watching those. Then, after the due date for the individual assignment passes, if you've not completed the work or turned in the work by the due date, you will have 2 weeks after the due date to turn in the late work. This is actually built into the way I've designed the course assignments for this course. Once 14 days from that assignment due date have passed by, you will no longer be able to turn in late work. Late work does receive a grade reduction, so don't be surprised when you see that. If you turn something in after the due date, there will be a grade reduction. Also, like I said, once those 14 days pass, you will be unable to turn in the late work. If there is a concern, I have experienced illness, I've experienced losses in my family. I want to be very sympathetic to, significant illness or loss in the family. However, I would expect this to be something like loss or significant family illness or documentable physical illness on your part. For example, I've had times where I had a health professional say, hey, I think you should contact your professor and let them know what's going on, see if they can give you any grace. I want to work with you. I have been through those sorts of things. So I need you to communicate with me in those situations and we can work out something one-on-one. This doesn't mean on the 13th day, if you contact me and say, hey, I'm sorry I didn't get my homework done because life has been really busy, that's probably not going to be an acceptable reason for the late work, honestly. So I just want to give you that heads up ahead of time. Late work will receive a 10% grade deduction per day. And then you have 14 days after the due date, which is 2 weeks, to complete the late work. Past that, the assignment closes and you're actually not able to turn in the assignment. So I just want to be really clear about that up front. There is a purpose in this. I promise it's not just for, hey, let's see how strict I can be in this course. I think it's really important to work through the course material together. Again, personally, this is not something I studied or researched, but this is a personal opinion. I don't learn as well if I'm rushing through the course in the last 10 minutes. So it's just an added incentive to make sure you're keeping up on the coursework and doing the coursework with the class. That being said, I think I mentioned earlier, there will be participation reports. I select readings, which I'll notify you in the assigned reading. I'll notify you, hey, you have to report on this reading. Same with the videos that I record, the video updates. Those are considered your class attendance, so you have to report on your participation in those. Quick note for the conscientious and perfectionists among you, when I say that you need to report on your reading or report on watching the video, I don't mean like, oh, I looked away or got distracted for 30 seconds while watching the video, I have to scoot the video back. I know to some of you that's going to seem like a really strange thing for me to say, but I think if you identify what I'm saying, you're going to know exactly what I mean. I don't mean that kind of watching. I don't even care if you minimize this window and, read along in the syllabus, or minimize this window and doodle on a notepad while you listen. I just mean that did you listen or watch? Did you try to get the ideas of what I'm saying and pay attention enough to be able to talk to me intelligently about what was discussed in the video? Same with the reading. I don't necessarily advocate for a word-for-word, line-by-line exact reading. I just need to know that, for example, with the syllabus, there's a syllabus reading report. I need to know that you can come back to me and talk. We can discuss what was mentioned in the syllabus if an issue were to arise or if you had a question. So I don't have to say, it's in the syllabus, did you see that? Yeah. No, sorry. That's why I have the reading reports. That, and also for the sake of sort of creating attendance accountability for the course. Alright, finally, I know this feels like it's probably taking a long time and isn't the most interesting listening. I'm sorry, there are things that need to be said. I think we can move fairly quickly through the final part of what I'm doing for this module's video update. So, what you can expect for this course, you will see group discussions where you're going to post, and sometimes you're going to respond to another student. So you'll see discussions, you'll see quizzes, and an exam. The quizzes and the exam are all open book, open note, as far as information that I've provided for you within the course. I would ask you to refrain from going and Googling and finding the answer. Somehow that's not the same as interacting with the course material. So open book, open note with the material that I've provided, the videos, the reading assignments, all that. Quizzes and exams are open book. There will be readings and videos, like I said. Some of those, which I will try my best to specify very clearly, will be required reading or required watching, and you will have a participation report for each module. That being said, be sure to look for the required reading or required watching line that I'll put at the top of each section, either in the title or somewhere. I'll try to make sure it's really visible. Towards the end of this course, there are two really important assessments that you must complete and pass in order to pass this class. The first one is a plagiarism tutorial and quiz, and I want to be really open about that. It is not easy. It is not impossible either. So I want to give you fair warning. Give yourself adequate time to take the tutorial, and then also when I suggest that you have certain sheets or pages open while you take the quiz, you'll want to take me up on that. Otherwise, I fear you'll get really discouraged when you're like, I don't understand what they're saying. So I'm not trying to freak you out, which I understand this might be a little concerning, but I do want to give you fair warning. Do not wait until one day before the plagiarism quiz is due to try the tutorial and complete the quiz. It's not unusual to need to take the quiz more than one time in order to pass it. I know, because I've actually had to take this quiz more than once in my student career, and I know one of the times I took it, I had to take the quiz at least 3 or 4 times in order to pass it. This is done on an external website, so you can take the quiz as many times as you need to. It will tell you if you passed enough, completed enough answers correctly to pass the quiz. Once you've done that, then, you know, fairly smooth sailing from there. But please, please, please do not wait until the last minute, because that quiz, you actually have to complete that quiz and turn it in, pass the quiz and turn in your certificate before you can continue on and finish the rest of the course. So, fair warning, I just want to tell you up front, don't wait on the last minute for that. It is called the IU Plagiarism, Indiana University Plagiarism Tutorial and Quiz. And like I said, if you do not pass that quiz and successfully turn in the certificate saying you passed the quiz, the course is set up to stop you from continuing on to finish the course. Then, after that, you'll have a final exam and a final assessment, which we do on an external website. I'll be giving you a lot more information about that one. That one is time-consuming, but not difficult. You literally pass if you complete the assessment. You pass that assignment if you complete the assessment. You don't get a grade. You just say, the website notifies me, yes, student 10304 completed the assessment, and then I give you your grade. You don't need to worry about your grade. It's for assessment purposes internally, both in the library and within the school as a whole. However, it is required that you complete the assessment in order to receive a passing grade in the class. Finally, and we're almost done here, I just want to remind you, this course is required in order to graduate. Information literacy is a required component in higher education college curriculum here within the state of Ohio. We do have to report whether we teach you how to find good sources, how to access good sources, things like that. And so even if it seems like, oh, I learned all this in high school, there is a purpose, and aside from needing to do it in order to graduate, I really try to make this course meaningful as relates to being able to do well in other courses. You'll find it especially meaningful in the courses where you have to do research or extensive writing. There are no drop grades for the quizzes. The quizzes form a fairly large portion of your grade for the class if you look at the breakdown of the course weights for each sort of assessment. So make sure you do use your notes when you take the quizzes. There's no drop grades. There are not multiple attempts, even though I do let you use your notes and stuff that from the class. There's only one attempt. So if you pass with a 50, that is going to affect your overall course grade. Like I said, you must complete and pass the plagiarism quiz, which that's why I require people to do the plagiarism tutorial. If you don't do the tutorial, it's unlikely that you will pass the quiz, at least without significant time and effort. The same thing goes with the sales assignment, the project sales assignment. I require a completion grade on that one, though, in order to pass, as I don't get a grade. One other thing I want to mention, overall, this course's pass grade is set at 70%. It is a pass-fail course, which means if you successfully pass it, the course numbers like 70%, 80%, 90%, that doesn't affect your GPA. However, passing the course is required for graduation, and in order to pass the course, you must reach a cumulative 70% grade in the class. That is all I'm going to cover today. I promise that this video is way longer than the rest of them are going to be. My goal is to keep them fairly short. However, this information is stuff that I want you to know, and I want you to hear my reason why I'm doing it the way I am. So I'm excited to have you in this course. Some of you I'll see on campus. Some of you I hope to hear from digitally, either by email, or you can call me if you want to. Maybe you'll be on campus visiting at some point, and I'd love for you to feel free to stop by my office in the library. Two other things I want to note. I'll post a link once I get it set up for the semester. Once I know my office hours, I'll post a link for my Google Calendar that will have my appointment times available. The last thing I want to mention is that I will be opening a discussion board. My goal is to open a discussion board, if I can figure out for sure how to do it, a discussion board for the entire class. That way, if you have questions about course material throughout the course, and you're not embarrassed or feel awkward about asking them in front of others, I'd welcome you to ask those questions in that discussion board, so that either I can address those questions on my coming up video that I'll do, for the next module, the wrap up and opening for the next module, or else I can answer your question there, and that discussion board can then be a resource for others throughout the entire course, throughout the duration of the course, so that they can see the answer to the question as well. Also, anytime there's something you would like me to address, either individually or, with the whole course in mind, I am happy to clear up misconceptions. I just need to know what they are. So I welcome you to contact me and let me know if there's something specifically related to course material that you'd like me to address. Again, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm excited for this semester. I'm looking forward to learning together. Honestly, each semester is a learning experience for me, so I look forward to learning with you. Have a great day, have a great week, and I hope your first weeks of school go well.